Hi, I would like to share with you the scriptures. 1 Kings chapter 19. It's the continuing story of Elijah the prophet. This is right after he dealt with the prophets of Baal at Mount Carmel, with that little showdown between him and the prophets, and the which God is going to answer by fire. And it turns out to be Jehovah. And so, yeah, that was a fun chapter. But here comes the dark chapter of the whole story. And starting with verse 1. And Ahab told Jezebel all that Elijah had done, also how he had executed all the prophets with the sword. Then Jezebel sent a messenger to Elijah, saying, So let the gods do to me and more also, if I do not make your life as the life of one of them by tomorrow about this time. And when he saw that, he arose and ran for his life, and went to Beersheba, which belongs to Judah, and left his servant there. But he himself went a day's journey into the wilderness, and came and sat down under a broom tree, and he prayed that he might die. And he said, It is enough! Now, Lord, take my life, for I am no better than my fathers. Then, as he lay and slept under a broom tree, suddenly an angel touched him and said to him, Arise and eat. Then he looked, and there by his head was a cake baked on coals and a jar of water. So he ate and drank, and he lay down again. And the angel of the Lord came back a second time and touched him, and he said, Arise and eat, because the journey is too great for you. So he arose and ate and drank, and he went in the strength of that food 40 days and 40 nights, as far as Horeb, the mountain of God. And there he went into a cave, and spent the night in that place. And behold, the word of the Lord came to him, and he said to him, What are you doing here, Elijah? And so he said, I have been very zealous for the Lord God of hosts, for the children of Israel have forsaken your covenant, torn down their altars, and killed your prophets with the sword. I alone am left, and they seek to take my life. And then he said, Go out and stand on a mountain before the Lord. And behold, the Lord passed by, and a great and strong wind tore into the mountains and broke the rocks in pieces before the Lord. But the Lord was not in the wind. And after the wind, an earthquake. But the Lord was not in the earthquake. And after the earthquake, a fire. But the Lord was not in the fire. And after the fire, a still small voice. So it was, when Elijah heard it, that he wrapped his face in his mantle, and he went out and stood in the entrance of the cave. And suddenly a voice came to him and said, What are you doing here, Elijah? And he said, I have been very zealous for the Lord God of hosts, because the children of Israel have forsaken your covenant, torn down your altars, and killed your prophets with the sword. I alone am left, and they seek to take my life. And then the Lord said to him, Go, return on your way to the wilderness of Damascus, and when you arrive, anoint Hazael as king over Syria. Also you shall anoint Jehu the son of Nimshi as king over Israel, and Elisha the son of Shaphat of Abel Meholah you shall anoint as prophet in your place. It shall be that whoever escapes the sword of Hazael, Jehu will kill, and whoever escapes the sword of Jehu, Elisha will kill. Yet I have reserved 7,000 in Israel, all whose knees have not bowed to Baal, and every mouth that has not kissed him. So he departed from there, and found Elisha the son of Shaphat, who was plowing with 12 yoke of oxen before him, and he was with the 12th. Then Elisha passed by him, and threw his mantle on him, and he left the oxen, and ran after Elijah, and he said, Please let me kiss my father and my mother, and then I'll follow you. And he said to him, Go back again, for what have I done to you? So Elisha turned back from him, and took a yoke of oxen, and slaughtered them, and boiled their flesh, using the oxen's equipment, and gave it to the people, and they ate. And then he arose and followed Elijah, and became his servant. Now in that part of the story, Ahab told Jezebel what Elijah had done, how how he had the prophets of Baal killed with a sword, and this this made Jezebel mad, and she decides to put a death notice upon Elijah's head, saying, "So let the gods do to me, and more so awful also if I let your head stand upon your shoulders today, and make your life, if I do not make your life like one of those prophets." And Elijah becomes afraid, and then he ends up running for his life, and leaves a servant in the kingdom of Judah, and basically goes, "Oh God, please take my life. I'm no better than my fathers." It's like he's gotten really upset, and just like he was expecting that his little his little fire show on Carmel, with God pouring down fire upon sacrifice, is going to turn people of Israel back to the Lord God. And unfortunately, judging from what happened in this chapter, it didn't. So he just ended up running for his life, and he ended up sleeping under a broom tree, and angel of the Lord comes and feeds Elijah with bread and water, and Elijah goes in the strength of that food for about 40 days and 40 nights, and he goes to Mount Horeb, which is a place where Moses received the Ten Commandments, and initiated the Mosaic covenant with people of Israel, and Elijah goes into a cave and spends some time there, and he hears a voice saying, "What are you doing here, Elijah?" And he knows that it's God, and he says, "I've been very zealous for the Lord God of hosts, because they have broken your covenant, torn down their altars, killed the prophets with the sword. I alone am left, and they seek to take my life." And God has him stand outside the cave and watch as wind broke some rocks from the mountains, but the Lord wasn't in the wind. Then after an earthquake, but the Lord wasn't in the earthquake. And then after a fire, but the Lord wasn't in the fire. And then after that, there was a still small voice, and it was repeating the same question, saying, "What are you doing here, Elijah?" Because Lord knows what Elijah's doing there. He just wants to hear it from Elijah himself. And again, Elijah repeats the same answer that he gave to the Lord. And the Lord said, "You go and anoint Hazael to be king over Syria, and then anoint Jehu son of Nimshi, and then anoint Elisha the son of Shaphat to be prophet in your place." Because God is going to continue his ministry to the kingdom of Israel through the prophet who is going to arise in Elijah's place, because Elijah is going to go up to heaven in 2 Kings. Of course, Elijah didn't know that until later, and God ends up telling him that he's reserved there's reserved several thousand of people of Israel who have not bowed down to the image of Baal and whose mouth has not kissed him. So they're so they're so they're still people who are loyal to the Lord. And so that gave Elijah some peace of mind. Anyway, that's pretty much all I have to share in this video. So have a good day, and God bless you.